in this video. In Daily Race A, we have some massive crashes. In Daily Race B, the server decides it wants to play a little bit of a game. And in Daily Race C, we have all the speed as we're in the Viper at Deep Forest. Hello everyone, and welcome back to a Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2025, week 36. And this week, well, we have a lot of straight lining to do, but the circuit in race A is not a straight line. No, we're at Grand Valley South for this one, so the shorter circuit at Grand Valley, and we're in that Toyota Yaris that you can see in the background. We're doing 6 laps here. It's on weak slipstream. It's a grid start, but no penalty check this time, so a foot to the floor and off you go. Sport hard tyres, and of course, Bop is on. However, add a livery, add a rear wing if you want to, make it look a little bit more like a rally car if you so wish. If you don't like this race, of course, there are some timestamps in the background for you to jump to Daily Race B or Race C, respectively. We're staying with Daily Race A though, and here are the key statistics that I have for you. This track has been used 4 times previously. 37th overall in terms of track usage. It was last used on the 10th of June 2024, so over 1 year ago. It had this combo, in terms of the car at least, huge weight transfer issues here, so you'll see it go side to side very quickly, and the track limits are ridiculously stupid because it is the white line, not actually the tarmac. Without further ado then, let's jump into this daily race and let's have a look at exactly what happens. Right, here we are then at the start. We've got Kiwi once again on pole position, Sparks in P2, and we're all the way down in P10. So remember, no penalty check here, so literally traction control on 1. My foot is to the floor. I'm not holding the handbrake or anything like that. Off we go. A little bit of traction control usage, nothing crazy. I'll turn it off then, and we can kick off with this racing. Max power with a fantastic livery on the right-hand side. Yes, I'm in the default car here as we head towards turn number 1. So hard on the brakes here. Anything going to happen up ahead? No, we've got Nawaf going down the inside then. We're on the outside. There's going to be room on the exit. Good stuff. Good racing here from absolutely everybody then. As we head down the hill for the first time of 6 then, we go into this left-hander. And I fully well know the weight transfer of this car is crazy, so I'm sort of trying to be as cautious as possible. Everybody starts to oversteer here then as we continue on through. Nawaf then gets a really good run on the inside as we go through this right-hander. Oh, big crash! Huge crash there. Blue Racer involved in this one as well as we head towards left-handers. We gained 2 positions there, all said and done. Nawaf getting the most out of that, actually. Ran the outside, he went, well, I'm down to P9, but up to P9 at the same time. How about that one? So continuing on here, still side-by-side action up ahead. Just taking it nice and easy here. We are very much in the fight for the lead here. 1.4 seconds now off the lead as we go through this left-hander. Now, on lap 1, I highly recommend you stay on the inside line here. It will make sure you don't get ran into the wall on the outside. You hear somebody do that. I think that was Max Power actually going into the wall. And we're up into P7. Ewan with a 5-second penalty. That is massive. That really is huge. We'll have a look at why Ewan has that 5-second penalty in the bloopers, of course, at the end of this video. So early on the brakes end for turn 1, I was expecting everyone to go wide. You can see that people did go wide here as we continue on through then. And we just hear somebody else go to the barrier. I think that was Nawaf there into the barrier. So we are now up into P6, arguably P5 to be fair, with Ewan's 5-second penalty. We're going into this right hand then, slowing the car down nicely here. I'm not going to attack Ewan too much here, just because 5-second penalty, we're guaranteed that position up ahead. So let's look to stay close to Ewan. We don't cause Ewan to lose any time here. We should be in for the fight for the race victory, potentially. As we go through this left-hander then, Ewan's going to dart to the left-hand side. Good sportsmanship there. Mario Sonic with a 0.5-second penalty. That is for track limits, because track limits are dreadful here. So make sure you stay within the white line then as we get to this final corner. Oh, is it the final corner? Final hard corner then. Obviously, we've got a bit of a kink in the tunnel. As we go through here, Norman into the barrier then. Unfortunately, bounces back in front of Huggy, and we get 2 for 1 here. Up into P3 we go. Marisonic with a penalty here of 0.5 as well, which should mean, in theory, we're actually into second place with a good portion of this race to go then. So in towards turn 1 we go. Marisonic's got a little bit deep here. We get on the inside. Marisonic a low. Marisonic's going to have the advantage on the exit there, carrying a bit more speed. So we're going to back out of here then. We just short shift and lift off a little bit here so we don't lose too much time to Shadow, because that's who I'm focusing on right now as we go to this right now. Speaking of which, Shadow's gone very wide there into the barrier for Shadow up ahead as we continue on through here. Into the right we go. Shadow into the wall there, me into the wall. Oh, Shadow's got a penalty as well, so I was slightly into the wall there. We all were as we go into this left-hander. Aerosonic is going to take that penalty first, of course. Heads over towards the left-hand side. Good sportsmanship there. And we are now we've caught up to Shadow, should I say. As we go into this right-hander, though, Shadow gets it slightly wrong there. Oh, a bit too wide then. As we go into this left-hander, it slows me down. That brings Hoggy Marisonic back into play behind me then. But Shadow takes that penalty, and we're going to try and dart off into the distance. At least try. So we head to the final lap then. I've been doing faster slaps here. This is going to be another faster slap as I head towards the line. I was flying, and I got the race victory. I've not seen a race victory from me in a while, and we've got it right here in the Toyota Yaris at Grand Valley. In terms of the point score for this race, it's only got a 4.5 out of 8. And you can check out why in the pinned comment down below. If you're here very early, the pinned comment might not be there just yet, but it will be there. So come back and check, and all the details for the points are down below. Here's the lap guide then, brought to you by Coach Dave Academy and the Delta app. Make sure you do check that out in the description and in the pinned comment as well. So turn number 1 here for this lap guide. The 300 board is your brake mark. You want to brake just before that. I've also highlighted as the white line goes straight there as well. But you want to point towards the corner now, okay? You're braking in a straight line all the way towards the corner. There we go. And then we start to release the brakes and trail brake a little bit more. You get a little bit of rotation as you release the brakes in this car. So it's kind of nice here. And what we're looking for in terms of an accelerating marker here, on the inside, you've got the dirt that goes into concrete. And I've highlighted that right there. When you see that, when you get close to it, more like you need to start accelerating. And you'll get a feel for it as the weight transfers as well. Notice the car suddenly wants to turn a bit more. We can accelerate down here. I'm short shifting, so I'm changing at the gear indicator, the red box there, as I go into here. So I've got up to 5th gear. I'll lift off a little bit here because I want the best line possible for this right-hander. You do not want to take a tight line here. You want to take a wide line in. So as the line goes straight here, I want to brake just before I get to that. I'm in 5th gear right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to head towards the corner a little bit, but keep the car nice and steady, which means not 100% braking all the time here. I just want to trail brake here. Notice that I trail brake, and I'll let the car roll. So 100% initially, but then I'll let the car do its own thing here. If I keep on the brakes to try and turn, the weight's going to shift. We go through the dip there, avoid getting track limits here, and we get to this point here. So it's just before the white line goes straight, or the side on the left-hand side. We're braking for this corner. You don't want to cut this either because you will get track limits, like I've talked about already a lot in this lap. But you do want to go through here. Avoid hitting the wall then. I've just paused it right here. You can use the sign as a bit of a judgment marker, but arguably what you want to do here is get straight. The second you get straight in this car, then hit the brakes, because then you can focus on the next corner, and that's what I'm doing right now. Look how close I am to the wall here. So we're hitting the brakes here. We start to turn into the corner, let the car do its own thing, accelerate a little bit, and on the left-hand side, it's very much highlighted here because we're at night here at Grand Valley, and the headlights are beaming off this. You got this little stick there. That is your brake marker. It's just before the marshals that you can see in the distance. Really good marker for this one. You're going to hit the brakes. Now, you can drop to 2nd gear or 3rd gear here. It's entirely up to you, but you want a bit of rotation. The second you get that rotation, accelerate out of the corner and then continue on towards the next one here then. So we come to the end of Sector 2 right now. We are up here, of course. This is our fastest lap. On the left-hand side then, we have the end of the wall there, okay? That is our brake marker for this right-hander. So just as we get here, we're going to hit the brakes. Now, we want to turn into this corner. Now, one problem I had doing this lap is I kept turning a bit too early. So just be careful about doing that. Notice how I stayed out wide a little bit longer. I accelerate in 3rd gear, so I drop from 4th to 3rd. Then on the left-hand side here, we have this signpost. This signpost, a really good marker, okay? So as it leaves the screen, I want you to hit the brakes and turn into this corner. You should get some weight rotation in the car, so the car should rotate, and that should mean then you can accelerate through. Notice there we get a little bit of rotation. We can then accelerate, and we're going to accelerate all the way until the Armco meets the brick wall on the left-hand side. As this point hits the edge of your screen, you're going to dab the brakes and let the car roll through this corner a little bit. Let the car do its own thing. Let the weight do its own thing now. It's all going to transfer to the left-hand side. Watch what happens, okay? Because I should get some rotation here. So I dab the brakes a little bit, just letting the car do its thing. And then when I know we can get around the corner, I then go on the accelerator. You need to let the car weight transfer, do its thing, then it will rotate round, and then you can accelerate through. 118.312, that was rank 1 at the time, and it will be on the leaderboard there if you do want to follow that lap, which has been brought to you by Coach Dave Academy. We've come to the next daily race then, daily race B here, where I'm in that Nissan GTR, although I'm not in it for the qualifying lap, and we're at Sardegna layout A. 5 laps here. Now, originally the slipstream was labelled disabled, but actually it's still a custom slipstream apparently. So rolling start, racing hard tyres, and you can adjust the brake balance. Apparently PD are trying to fix that slipstream note there. It says disabled and custom, etc. So in terms of the key statistics here, track has been used 6 times, so it's 31st on the leaderboard. Crank car cover only once, believe it or not, which is a surprise to me. We last used it on the 28th of July, 25. In terms of issues, very few places to overtake here in Group 4. And of course, we do have the dangerous kink here at Sardegna Layout A. And that is not... Get your mind out the gutters with that one. It's got dangerous fast kink, which goes to the left-hander in the last sector. Anyway, let's jump into this race and let's have a look exactly what happens. Here we are then at the start of the next race. Lola is in pole position. The Master 3, though, is looking like the best car at the leaderboards at the moment. Is what I used in the qualifying lap. If you enjoyed this video, as always, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, stay in touch with all the latest content. We have a lot more content coming now. I've just got through my busy period at work, which means I can focus a bit more on the channel once again. If you have left a comment recently, I will get in touch shortly. I'm about 2 weeks behind on comments, but that should be back up to scratch, up to date by the end of this week. Right, we did start there with rolling starts. Now, I did look for a way around the outside, but nothing much happened. And we get towards the end of lap 1 here then. We run very wide there through that dangerous kink that I talked about in the intro. Nawaf doesn't. Nawaf nails it in that GT by Citroen. And as we go through this left-hander, we're going to continue on out of here. We're still side by side. Some beautiful racing here right now. We've got Huggy in a Bugatti Veyron up ahead. Max Power chose the Porsche Cayman because Max Power. Why would Max pick anything else other than an unusual car is the question. We continue on through here. Max Power goes towards the right-hand side. I'm not sure why Max Power is lifting there, or maybe an issue. I'm not too sure. But we are still in this fight with Nawaf on the left-hand side then as we head towards turn number 1 for the second time of asking here at Sardegna layout. A hard on the brakes, and this GTR has very good brakes. Look at that. Easily outbroke the Citroen there as we head towards the hairpin here then. So we catch up to Mario Sonic in a very, very, very pink Mazda 3. Looking on the inside of Norman, not going to quite work there as we go through the left-hander. Huggy go for the cutback on Norman in the Genesis. And we go through here, slight tap on Mario Sonic. That was not intentional in the slightest. Just having a little look, but the look was not really on there, so we did have to back out of that. Through the right we go. Now, whilst having a look here as we go to the kink, I highly advise you don't go too wide through here. Huggy there runs very wide as we head towards the final corner. Another hairpin here as we go hard on the brakes. Mario Sonic on the inside. I thought, okay, let's try and follow Mario Sonic through if I can. I can't quite do it then as we continue on out of here, and that Citroen, well, it's quite quick at accelerating, isn't it? Look at that on the right-hand side there. It's going alongside me now. It's got to give room on the inside. We take the wider line through this corner. And in fact, we're actually going to lose the position here to Nawaf there. Brilliant move by the Citroen driver. I'm going to fast forward a little bit here as we head towards turn 1. The GTR picking up speed here as we head towards turn 1 on the inside in the GTR. Nearly into the back of Mario Sonic there. We were last of the late breakers. Nawaf maintains that line around the outside. Beautiful driving there. And we actually do drop a position here. Max Power also looking to get by, and Max Power back in the swing. Only 6 seconds off the lead here as we head towards the left-hander. So slowing the car down now. Do we get it stopped? We do indeed. And we are settling down in P15 right now. What we will do, though, is advance a bit further on here in the lap. So lap number 3, we're heading to the dangerous kink once again. You've seen here, not much action happens in the lap until you get to the dangerous kink. As they go side by side, how did they make that work? Beautiful driving from Huggy and the Nawaf then as we head towards the final corner here. Got to be cautious here, and the Nawaf up ahead taking the tighter line. Huggy goes around the outside. Max Power goes around the outside, and, well, me, I get hung out to dry here. I'm down to P16. I'm last, P-last right now, as we advance to lap number 4. Nearly rear-ending Max Power there. I was getting ready to dive out the way, but I did expect Max Power to go left, and that's why I kept the 2 tyres on the circuit there on the left-hand side. In towards the left-hander we go. We're still in this fight, though, for positions. Got a yellow flag up ahead. I can't see anything. Oh, there on the left-hand side. I'll have to have a look at the bloopers to see what happened to Ewan in that one, in an Iron Brew car there, as we continue on towards the fast left hander now then. So we're in this train of cars, and this is the problem with this race. Okay, it's very hard to get alongside. The dangerous kink is the main overtaking spot into the final corner, but after that, I mean, look at it, look at this here. We're trying to get the run, but the run doesn't really happen. It really doesn't. The Mazda 3 is definitely quicker in a straight line, by the way. I know none of us are in the Mazda 3 right now, except in the distance, but even so, it's still a struggle to actually get alongside here to actually go for an overtake. So racing, while it exists, it's quite difficult. It is difficult indeed. And you see Mario Sonic in the distance there in the pink Mazda 3. So certainly making places there is Mario Sonic. That car is definitely the quickest one to pick here at the moment as we go onto the brakes then for the fast kink once again. Through we go, and nothing more happening at the moment. I was actually looking round the car then, or trying to at least, as we go hard on the brakes down the inside of Max Power. Do we get this done? Not quite. Nearly tapped Max Power's rear there. Good job we didn't. As we're going to fast forward now through the right-hander and head towards the start of the final lap then. So as we come up to this point here, I'm going to go on the brakes now, but look what happens to everybody else. So the network sort of has a bit of a moment there, and that basically puts me into the back of Nawaf because I adjusted my braking. So I do apologise for that. Couldn't really do much with the server. Daily Race B server issues. It happens every single week now, it feels like. Now, as we go into this corner, once again, I've got a run now, this time on Pill. Pill goes around the outside of Nawaf. Up ahead, you can see the server moving about there, and there's a tap between Nawaf and Max Power. So Nawaf's trying to wait up for Max Power at this moment in time. I, at the time, was wondering what the heck was going on. I've seen it since, and it absolutely makes sense. In terms of scores then, this is a 5 out of 8, and all the details for this race are down below in terms of how this system is scored. Even so, I still think this race, well, it would have had more potential, but you just can't get alongside people. Now, +5 brake balance here for this lap guide, brought to you by Coach Dave Academy and the Delta app. Make sure you do check it out. And our first brake marker on the right-hand side then is either the gap in the barrier, where the red is, or the 100 board, okay? Use either of these as brake markers. They are fantastic brake markers. Just to clarify, again, I am in that Mazda 3 here, +5 brake balance as we head towards turn 1. So I'm going to drop to second gear, but I want you to go to third gear on exit like that. The reason for that is if you're in second gear, yes, there's a bit more power at the top of the rev range because you do rev the nuts out of this car. However, there's more wheel spin there. So third gear, for me, felt that little bit better. We're going to head towards the next corner then here, and you have a choice of brake markers. So on the left-hand side, end of the grandstand. Up ahead, we have the sand or grass to sand. Now, it's not quite there. It hits the edge of the grandstand, leaving the screen, more your brake marker. On chase cam, of course, you can use the 50 board there. It's like right in your vision. So you can use that as well if you so wish. So trail brake through this corner. I want to get my tires hooked on the corner a little bit. I want to get as far left as possible. Because this is a front-wheel drive car, you want to get as far left possible to give you a nice angle for this right-hander. So that's what I'm doing right now. That fence on the left-hand side, really good brake marker for this corner. Now, I want to stay in third for this corner to maintain my speed and reduce any wheel spin. So that's what I'm going to try and do now. And look at that. The car is balanced. There's no wheel spin on the front, so the car doesn't understeer. I can accelerate through absolutely fine. This first brake marker then for this long left-hander, you're all going to hate me, but I do use this. People go, how do you see this? You do see it. So as you drive, you'll notice the bushes start to open up and there's a gap here. This is your brake marker. Quite clearly, I'm braking at this point. I always use this marker. I want you to brake in a straight line initially and trail brake into the corners. You're taking a wide line in. This is because I'm in a front-wheel drive car. Notice wide line in. I'm hitting the apex just around where these marshals have just gone past the center of my screen. Those marshals are my accelerating marker, okay? So as they pass the center of my screen, that's when I'm going to start accelerating, and you can see that quite clearly here. So that's what I'm going to do. I should make it around this corner absolutely fine. I go in the power band literally on the exit of the corner, so I don't get understeer until the end of the corner. We can accelerate now towards the hairpin. Now, I'm stopping this very early here. So I brake as the 100 board hits my rear view mirror at the top. But I thought I'd highlight the trees here as well, because that's what I started using initially, but it was just a bit too early. There's a line of trees there. The start of it, you can quite clearly see there's a gap in this line of trees. It's a very good brake mark if you're struggling with a braking. Otherwise, the 100 board there, as it hits the top of my screen, is when I'm going to hit the brakes there. Don't turn in too early for this one, and you should be able to accelerate through in second gear. If you do turn in too early, up to third gear to reduce that understeer on exit. Rev the nuts out of the car now. We're going to head to the most dangerous corner on this circuit, the kink. So as we go into here then, we're keeping as far right as possible on the circuit. We have the end of the concrete curb on the right-hand side. This is our brake marker. We want to dab the brakes and chuck the car in. When we chuck the car in, the car should stick. Now, the closer you get to the barrier, the faster the speed you do. If you turn in too early, you're going to have to adjust, and you'll be going very slow through here. Notice I chuck it in. I get so close to the barrier. I stay in fifth gear. I use all the exits and then some. As long as you keep two wheels on that concrete curb, you are absolutely fine. This final corner then, you have 3 brake markers. Look at this. We have the end of the curb. We have the end of the trees, or the 100 board hitting the top of my screen. I'm actually using the trees here, so just as before the trees hit the edge of my screen is when I'm going to hit the brakes. Last of the late breakers here. I want to keep towards the right side as much as possible here, and then turn in. Now, you notice there, I actually got very close to the wall. In fact, it scared me a little bit because I was on a very good lap. So I lifted on exits, thinking that I would have hit the wall, but I didn't. It was actually the perfect line, so unfortunately, I've cost myself a little bit of time. That's out through the right-hander here, and we head towards the line. This is a 150.7, I think it was. You can follow that one on the leaderboard as well. We jump to daily race C then, where we're at Deep Forest. What a surprise in Group 3 machinery. We're always at Deep Forest, aren't we? And we're doing 14 laps. Once again, it said disabled for the slipstream, but I believe it is still custom, but we write disabled because that's what it was. Rolling start here and racing medium tyres, and you do have to pit. ×2 fuel, ×5 tyre wear, and you can adjust the brake balance. Now, because I saw slipstream being disabled, I actually chose the Viper there because it's very strong in a straight line. And we'll see how we get on in the race shortly. First up, though, the key statistics here. We've used this track 16 times, so lots. It's in the top 10 used tracks, 6th there at the moment. Track car combo 7th, and yes, it's 8th overall in terms of top 10 used combo. We last used this track on the 16th of June. There's very few overtaking spots in my opinion, and the hairpins can be dangerous with 2 of them, turn 1 and the last turn as well. So I chose that Dodge Viper because of its speed. Let's jump into this race and let's see if the speed actually helps me out. Right, here we are then at the start of the final race. We've got Ryoki starting in pole. Now, I did use the RCZ originally when I was doing laps here, but I saw the disabled slipstream. I thought, you know what, I need to practice the Viper. If you enjoyed this video, as always, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, stay in touch with all the latest content. We have lots of content coming up on the channel now. I am just getting over my busy period at work. So as we head in towards turn number 1, nothing much happens here. Line astern as we go through here. Then. And we actually get towards the end of lap 1 where the action starts to kick off. So this is why I chose the Viper. Look at the straight line speed difference. We're in the slipstream there, so we can see slipstream does exist here. And on the right side there, the Lamborghini has been dropped our max power, and we've got the RCZ there on our right side as we go in towards turn 1. Now, I didn't know this at the time, but we're 3 wide right now. So once I exit this corner, I started straightening up a little bit. Then I realized I just give Max Power that little bit of room. So Max Power didn't crash there, so fortunately survived. But that was a brave move to make it 3 wide there, Max Power. Well played to you for that attempt, at least. And we do get a position overall in the end ahead of Max Power, but we're still in this train of cars. 4.7 seconds off the lead right now. There's a penalty there for Blue Racer. That'll be track limits. And we go for the last of late breakers around the outside of Blue Racer. So as we leave this corner, well, Blue Racer said you might be able to brake last, but look at me, I'm still ahead of you. So, yeah, well played, Blue Racer. We do have the power of the Viper, though, in this V10 engined car. So as we go through here, then, and we're going to get some slipstream and a half there. So Blue Racer towards the left-hand side, following Mario Sonic. We're following Norman right now, and we get closer. I love the gap in the middle. Norman sees me go for that gap, goes defensive. Beautiful defensive move, to be fair, there, because Norman had to make a defensive move. Whilst I was going for that down the inside, so well played to Norman. And Mario Sonic there actually defends a position as well. Gets on my inside, and we are down, well, up, down, whatever you want to call it. P12 is where we're at the moment. So lap number 3, here we go then. We've got a run on Mario Sonic here as we head in towards the hairpin. Hard on the brakes right now as we go into this corner. As we go through here, it's very easy to understeer and get slight knocks there. So that's completely on me on Mario Sonic. So I did lift off there, and Blue Racer managed to capitalize on that as well. And Max Power nearly capitalized on it. To get another run on Blue Racer here. We're down the inside of the Ferrari once again as we head towards turn 1 here. Start lap number 4. Hard on the brakes. Can we get this position done and dusted? Blue Racer tries round the outside, looking to maintain that speed, and well, actually does it there. Well played to Blue Racer, and we are now in P13 as we go into this right-hander. Notice as well, we're not losing that much time to the leaders because I believe they're all fighters as well. And look at this, Max Power down the inside. It's here. This is not normally an overtaking spot. That is a beautifully well executed move by Max Power there. Really well played. And we're down to P14 now as we continue on through here. So end of lap number 4. What's happening up ahead? A bit of contact. Blue Racer decides to come in the pits because remember, you have to pit at least once. You might not want to change tyres. You might want to change tyres. Remember, there's about a 3-second difference there between change your tyres, not change your tyres. We have a massive run on Max Power, who I believe may have just like missed a gear there. Norman then went defensive with Mario Sonic there. Unfortunately, Norman goes a bit too deep there in the McLaren. Is going to lose out. Max Power maintains that position. We're up into P12, but we're having a fantastic race here with Max Power and Mario Sonic then. So we get a run once again on the Lamborghini Huracan. So you've seen here handling versus power, how it works. We've got 2 people there taking a penalty, so we're up into P9 now as we go onto the brakes once again. So P9, end of lap number 5. Oh, behind there, Max Power was just tapped round. We'll have a look at that one in the bloopers as we continue on. That gives me a bit of breathing room here. Mario Sonic goes defensive. At this moment in time, I'm also going to go for the move here. We're coming up to a handling section. Much better for me to let the RCZ go. And then when we get to the back straight and the home straight as well, or start-finish straight, whatever you want to call it, I can then overtake using the slipstream and the power of the Dodge Viper. But we get to that point, and actually Mario Sonic goes in the pits along with T-Mat up ahead. So they go in the pits as well. I do an extra lap. Now, I did do a very good in-lap here, if I do say so myself. And the idea here is to jump them, doing the overcut, which you don't see very often. I decided to change tyres on the Viper because it does use the front a lot here with the weight over the front wheels there. And as we leave this pit now then, what we're looking for is Mario Sonic. So we've got Tiamat going by there, and Mario Sonic... Well, Mario Sonic is behind me right now. There you go. There's that yellow RCZ. So, Mario Sonic and Blue Racer have been fighting here, and we actually get the position. So, happy days indeed. We go to the end of lap number 8 then, and here comes Mario Sonic. I wasn't sure whether Mario Sonic was going to go for it or not, knowing I had a lap fresh tyres. So, Mario Sonic going down that inside then. Got to give some room there for the RCZ. And I wasn't too worried about the RCZ going for that move there. It's a much better handling car than the Viper. So, it's faster in this section anyway. So, I'm not really going to lose out that much. What I will gain from it, though, is some slipstream on the start-finish straight, which is what I was aiming for. This was my strategy. If I get some pace going, I can actually use it here. So we continue out of the corner, and Blue Race gets a fantastic run on me here, but that's it. It's just a run, because here comes the Viper. Here comes the speed here. So I'm trying to judge this accordingly. Where's Barasonic going? Where's Tiamat going then? As we get on to this part of the straight then. And we are now ahead of Mario Sonic. We've got the run on Tiamat, who goes for the racing line now because they've made that move to go back to the racing line. Clear position for me to take there. Get on the inside. Job done. We are up into P7. And now the goal is to absolutely dart away from the pack behind. Do we do it is the question? Well, we do. Lap 14. There we go. We finished in P7. And we did some consistent laps there, to be fair. But we're just out of touch with the pack that was up ahead. And they were fighting the majority of the race. They had a really good battle. So you are going to have some fantastic racing on this combo. You really are. 7.5 out of 10. It is a common combo, but I can see why they use it all the time. What we're going to do now is jump to a lap guide then. This is brought to you by Coach Dave Academy and the Delta app. Make sure you do check that out in the pinned comment and description down below. +5 brake belts in this Viper. Turn number 1, you've got the start of the curb or the 100 board. In the RCZ, I was using the 100 board. In the Viper, I'm using start of the curb. So I'm telling you both these brake markers so that you can use whichever one you want to use. Okay, so start the curb here because I'm carrying more speed in the Viper. Hard on the brake. Stay out wide a little bit longer than you expect. Then trail brake in towards the corner. Then when this yellow painted barrier or orange painted barrier, the gap in the barrier up ahead, gets towards the center of your screen, accelerate. Now I've got up to 3rd gear on the exit. The Viper, you do short shift a little bit anyway, so that's why I've gone up to 3rd gear. Now this Viper is very settled on the exit. I just lift off a little bit there just to make sure it stays settled. But if so, it's absolutely fine. I'm going to head up here then, head over towards the left hand side. And on that left hand side, we have the start of this fence that you can just see right there. That is your turning marker. Now, whether you're in the RCZ or the Viper or any other car that you like in Group 3, that is your turning marker. You may want to dab the brakes in some cars. In others, it's just a lift off and turn in. So in this one, I just lift off, turn in, and I do cut the inside a little bit. Our next brake marker, and we're braking before we get to it, is on the left-hand side there. We've got the grass to concrete marker there. So we're braking before we get to it. Now, in the RCZ, do not cut this too much. In the Viper, you can cut this a bit more. The reason for that is the way the suspension is and the way the front lifts. So the Viper can go over those sausages. The RCZ definitely can't go over those sausages. So just be careful. We did brake in the middle of that corner as well, just to get the rotation through the right-hander. We come to the next one then. This is a long right-hander now, okay? So the end of your curb is your turning marker and it's your brake marker. So you're doing two things here. You're going to be hard on the brakes and then release to trail brake into the corner. And you're going to be turning at the same time. So here we go then. So we trail brake all the way through there. And then we see the red... not bollard. It's not a bollard Tidgney weapon. It's that banner up ahead. That's the word I was looking for. When you see that, you start to accelerate. So on a chase cam, it's a bit harder to see. So you're looking just for that tunnel entrance, and that should be fine as well. Then you're going, Tidge, you didn't fully brake as you went into that right-hander. I did in the RCZ. I didn't in the Viper. On the exit there, I just got a bit of wheel spin. Notice I went towards the right-hand side. Be careful of that on the exit. You'll suffer that in all cars. As we go to this left-hander then, the curb protrudes into the circuit there, right? The most protruding part of it is your brake marker. So you straight line this bit. As you hit the brakes, as you get to that curb, you're then going to turn into the corner, trail brake in the release. You get to a dip there. Once you go through the dip, you can then accelerate. You'll feel that dip more as you do the lap yourself rather than seeing it on a video. This next brake marker then, you've got the start of the bridge. So it goes from tarmac to concrete. Alternatively, you've got the Armco into that rail on the right-hand side. Either of these two are brilliant brake markers. Use them. Stay out towards the right side. Then come in, clip the curb, instantly accelerate out the corner. I short shifted in the Viper. Now, I'm just showing you track limits in terms of this Viper. So notice there, I'm staying on the red and white curbing. That is your track limits. If you go any further over than that, you are going to get a penalty. As long as you stay on the red and white curbing, you should be absolutely fine. We're going to head towards our final brake marker now. So on the right side, we have this camera structure. Brilliant brake marker in the Viper. In the RCZ, you may want to use the fence, which I've highlighted a bit further on, okay? But just because you're going a bit slower in the RCZ, you can brake that a little bit later. So use either of these as your brake markers. Brake in a straight line, okay? As low as you can in terms of the gears. And then as you get closer to the corner, release, turn in. You clip the curb on the inside and then accelerate on exit. Be careful, power oversteer. Notice I had a wiggle in the Viper. You'll have a wiggle in most cars, okay? We head towards the line, keep an inside line there. That's 126.648. I know there's faster laps on the leaderboard, but I want to keep the Viper one on there, and you can actually follow this one with it being slightly slower. We jump towards the bloopers then. So what actually happened here in Daily Race A? So as we go into here, Kiwi slows it down nicely. Oh, Spot's gone wide. Spot's gone very wide there. Oh, bounces back onto the track, which forces Kiwi off then. Oh, yeah, that caused carnage. That did cause carnage. So we can see what happened there. How did Ewan get a 5-second penalty, though, is the question. So coming into here, Ewan gave space on the inside. That's beautiful stuff as we continue on through here. And, oh, that's unlucky. Ewan, you did not deserve 5-second penalty there at all. So I assume it was for that. Yes, it was. That's just so unlucky. It really is unlucky. Daily race B then. We saw, well, it was Ewan again. Ewan was the one that was off on the left-hand side. Oh, no. Right, okay. So comes into here as we go through. And then, oh, slight tap on the rear. So Ewan was just trying to take a bit more of a wider line. White car was there as well. I can't show you the white car perspective just because of the livery they were using. Right, a bit further on in daily race B. So what actually happened in this hairpin then? So obviously the server was having a bit of an issue here as well. We go on to the brakes then as we go into here. And yeah, I don't think you had to wait there, Noaf. I think that was all fair game, in my opinion. But better waiting a bit further around, but I know the panic that happens. I've panicked before now where I want to wait up for somebody. But fair play to you for waiting. Right, what happened to Max Power then? So Norman on the brakes then. Max Power on the outside here. Goes through here. And yeah, I think on that one, I think Norman probably should wait up on that one because Max Power easily there on the corner. We go towards the last time. I thought I'd show you this, actually. This is the run to the line. This is what you'll experience quite a lot this week in terms of a race. So we've got Shadow in the 4C. We've got Constant in the Viper. We've got Manu Rodri in the Viper. We've got a 4C of Hoggy here as well. It was a 4-way fight to the line then. So look at this, and this is how Slipstream works, and you want to get in positions. It's all about playing chess here for the final lap. Which position do you want to be in? So Manu Rodri took the inside line. Constance at the outside line. Shadow was the lead car. So using Slipstream there, Manu Rodri goes to the right, Constant towards the left-hand side. Manu Rodri just gets it there from Constant, but it was a brilliant end to a race there. Well played to all of you racing there. That's going to be it for this video though, folks. I do hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, as always, give it a like, subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. That's going to be it for me now, folks. A big thank you for watching. Do check out my partners down below, including Coach Dave Academy and the Delta app, because they have supported this video, and yeah, it helps make the video possible. Thank you as always for watching, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.